Well, hello, world of YouTube. It has been a while, hasn't it? I'll tell you, the last month has just been odd. First I got sick, then we got the storm. We didn't have internet for over 2 weeks. Finally got the internet hooked back up. So, finally getting a chance to sit down. It's been crazy here. It's been crazy. We're working on, between me getting better and recovering, which I still am in the process of that. We are working on some things in my bedroom. And as you can see, this mess behind me, all those cords, Baldy added a TV to my room, which is kind of cool. It goes up and goes down. It's kind of cool. And now we got to hide the cords. And then we did a few other things in here. It was pretty nasty from the feral cats coming in and warming up and stuff. So we're in the process of doing that. So in the meantime, I did make a video, and for some odd reason, I tried everything. YouTube wouldn't upload it. So I tossed it, and I'm going to redo it now. So the video that I did was on things like that happened to us in our youth that left an impact on us, and a negative impact. I don't want to use the word bullying because I think that's, I don't know, it's my own personal opinion, but it's just over the top these days. And I'm kind of in the middle, like, no, I don't believe in bullying and that kind of stuff. And yes, it can leave lifelong damage and all that kind of stuff. But we also, I don't know, I'm not going to get into it. Everybody feels different. That's one of those topics that's very sensitive. And, there's quite a few people out there that have lost their children because of this. But anyway, my topic is things that happened to us in our youth. It could be, our way younger years, teen years, whatever. Something that was done or said to us that left a lifelong impact that was never resolved. And it came across, I've had so much time to lay and rest lately. This came across my mind a few weeks ago. And like I said, I did a video on it, and for some reason YouTube wouldn't upload it. But I'm going to try it again. But something that happened to me, this was when I was probably 18 or 19. I was working at, I don't know if any of you remember Big Boy. I used to work at Big Boy. And there was a girl that worked there with me from high school. Well, her and I never really were like, friends. We were never friends. We were just like okay with each other. Hi, whatever. How are you? She was a cheerleader. I was a pom-pom girl. And this came up in my memories the other day, and it was a pretty rough thing that was said, and it did impact me all my life. Every once in a while I think about it, and I think, gosh, it would have been nice to, sit down and talk to her when she matured and grew up and see if she felt the same way, or perhaps she looked back and thought, holy crap, was I out of line? I don't know. I'll never know now. I don't even know where she is, if she's alive. But anyway, we were working one night, and it was after the restaurant had closed and we were cleaning up. I don't know what kind of conversation was going on, but all of a sudden, out of the blue, she just looked at me and she said, you know what? I don't like you. I've never liked you. I'll never like you. There's just nothing about you that I like. You just need to stay away from me. And it was the way she said it. It was loud. It was, it wasn't like a soft thing that she didn't want anybody to hear, because there were definitely other people there. It was rough. And I just remember looking up at her, and I was wiping a table, and I looked up at her. Had to check something. Looked up at her, and I thought, why the heck would you say that to me? Her first name was Grace. I'm not going to say her last name, just in case there's a chance somebody out there knows her. But this young lady was, well, we were both about the same age, 18, 19. And like I said, she was a cheerleader and I was pom-pom. She was very popular. I was not. And everybody loved Grace. And of course, Grace was a Christian, right? She said she was. But that left such an impact on me. First of all, to think, I had just come out of the foster home. I was just coming out of my parents' home into the foster home. I was in the foster home a couple years by now and still going through all that crap with my parents and all that. And to have something so cruel said to me just really like threw me. And I didn't say anything back. I didn't say anything to her. I just went about the rest of my night cleaning my shift, finishing my shift, and then I left. We never spoke again. I'm sure we worked together again, but we never spoke again to each other. And it just, to this day, it sticks. Like, it's icky to think that someone would say that, I don't like you. I'll never like you. Nothing good about you, whatever. I mean, yes, I realize we were young. I get all that. But what we also don't get is when we're young and we've been damaged, there are things that happen that can damage us further. It's kind of like you take a knife and stick it right in. And at that time, my wounds were all wide open. And so, I had another knife stuck in there. And I remember for years after that, I struggled with why wouldn't someone like me? I was a nice girl. I don't know. I don't know. It was just odd. And as time went on, of course, your wounds heal and it doesn't bother you as much and you don't think about it. But every once in a while, that'll pop up. And, I just hear it loud and clear. I've never liked you. I'll never like you. And maybe that's perhaps part of the reason why I struggle throughout my life finding female friends, because that's been a struggle for me my whole life, finding female friends. And it's like you'll find them and then, time comes and then you each kind of go your own way. The one that I thought was my lifelong female friend, we kind of drifted apart. We live about an hour and a half apart, which isn't too far. But I know she struggled with some things with Greg, and it bothered her that, despite Greg doing the things he did, that we still every once in a while would be able to take a vacation or, like I did get, I would lose my house, but then I would get another house a few years down the road. And she had flat out told me, so it's not assuming, it's not an assumption. She had told me that it bothered her that, I was able to still have a pretty decent life despite what he does. And so we still talk, but not like we used to. But yet when we do talk, it's just like how it used to be. It's like one of those friendships that just picks right up. And she's hoping to come here this summer when it warms up and stay for a few days. And I'm looking forward to that. So that's who I consider my bestest friend. It's just sad sometimes that we don't get together as much as I'd like. And, I'm useless in that area because I can't go anywhere myself, can't drive. So Greg would have to take me. And Lord knows I don't want him around, unless he dropped me off and I got a hotel room or something and he picked me up. But I don't know. So anyway, I think that what was said to me had that lifelong impact. Like every time I struggled with, why don't I have female friends? Why can't I have consistent female friends? It goes back to that statement, I've never liked you. I never will. And then it just makes me think, what is it about me that people don't want to be your friend? Like, and then as I get older, I'm sitting here after listening to a few of my supporters here on my YouTube channel. I'm now kind of like, I'm in the middle, but I'm kind of leaning towards the other way. Like, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's them. Maybe it was never me. Maybe it was always them. And, or half, I don't know. But I can honestly say I don't think I've ever done anything. I've never intentionally caused harm to someone or been mean. Am I weird? Yes. Was I weird? Absolutely. But it was no secret either in high school or my years after that, even I think in middle school years, that we were abused and in foster care and bad things were happening to us. None of that was a secret. We weren't allowed to bathe, we stunk, and it was just well known. And so I don't understand why kids would be mean, but they still do it today too, don't they? to other kids that are already struggling to be okay. But nothing impacted me like that statement, and maybe I took that hard because, like I said, throughout my life, I've struggled with keeping and maintaining female relationships. I've had some wonderful ones, but they always seem to end. And, part of it's time, part of it's distance, part of it's age, part of it's our families are in different places. For me, I've often struggled thinking maybe a lot of my female relationships looking back ended because of Greg. I think a lot of people didn't like him. And I know a lot of people didn't like him. And I think that made it hard for them to be my friend, being that I was married to him. And I think a lot of them, people knew stuff that I didn't know. And maybe they knew stuff was going on that I didn't know. And so it pushed people away. And nothing I can do about that. But I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling. But it goes back to that statement and how it left an impact throughout my life, even to today. It just, it stings a little. It doesn't sting much. It's more of, like, I'd be really curious if I ran across that person. Would they apologize for saying that? Do they even remember they said it? Or would they still feel the same way? And then you think, too, like, I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of people that were pretty mean to me in my high school years. And it was always like I always wanted to try to be in the popular girl group. Like I didn't get the cheerleading, but I got the pom pom. But I always tried to be in the popular girls and never quite fit in. But God, there was something else. Oh, I know some of these people haven't changed at all. Not quite a year ago, I went to a funeral of one of Greg's mom's lifelong friends. Not a funeral. What the heck am I thinking? A celebration party. She turned 100. And so we went down there, and this woman's daughter and I went to school together, and she was one of the popular girls. She was nice to me in high school. Like, she would just say hi, never talked or anything. But because Greg's mom and her mom were friends, I would come across her sometimes. But anyway, she is friends with all of the group of girls in high school that were mean to me. And they're still friends in their 60s. Well, when I went to the celebration in April, one of these girls that was never nice to me saw me, and I know she recognized me. She knew. I mean, I was with Greg. And she turned and looked at me and started laughing, and then turned away and started whispering. And I was in my scooter, so I take that personally, like, is she making fun because maybe I'm got issues? I don't know. Maybe I wasn't even the topic, but it felt it because when she looked at me, she laughed, and then she turned and started whispering to some other girl. And it just brought that ickiness back all over again, like these icky girls from high school. And they were really not nice. And obviously this one still isn't. And I actually call her the Black Widow because I think she's been married 3 or 4 times, and every one of her husbands has died. Wouldn't that be cool to find out she's a murderer? Well, anyway, that is what I was talking about, and my little video didn't get uploaded because YouTube wouldn't upload it. So that was what I was going to share with you, and I wanted to see if any of you had anything that happened to you in your younger years. And I'm talking, not before we get into our 20s and 30s, where we can process things and maybe defend ourselves and have more of an understanding and how to handle people like that. I'm talking about maybe our, elementary, middle school, teen years. If any of you have had anything that was said or done to you that really stung and stayed with you, and did you handle it? Did it ever get resolved? Did anyone ever apologize? Were you able to just shrug it off your shoulders? Which I would say I have. Like I said, it's not like it causes me any internal pain or I don't shed a tear over it. I just sometimes think, what the hell? Why would someone say that? What made them feel that way about me? And like I said, would they still feel that way if I ran into them today? I don't think I'd want to run into her today because if she didn't bring it up or apologize, I think I would bring it up. And then I would say, coming from a supposedly godly young lady, what the heck would ever make you say something like that? And why wouldn't you ever, ever ask for forgiveness for saying something like that? She clearly knew my history and what I was going through as a young girl. And so that was a really cruel, icky thing to say. So on that note, I'm going to leave it, but I want you to, if you would like to share with me anything that, like I said, that was said or done that impacted you, that caused you pain at that time. And like I said, was it ever resolved? Do you still see that person? Or maybe it just did something different for you and helped you in another way, because sometimes negative things can also help us. So please share that in the comments. I hope you're all doing well. I hope to get back to making videos on a regular basis now. Depends, because we still have another month and a half of icky weather that could come our way. And it seems like every time there's a snowstorm or a cloud or rain, or, even when you get those spring rainstorms, we don't have internet out here. And this was the longest time that we didn't have internet, and it was rough. I had it on my phone, but I can't do much with the phone. Not my phone. My phone probably needs to be updated, but I hope to get back to, making some regular YouTube videos and sharing different things with you. And one more little update I'll give. I was trying to avoid things about my health because it's been such a forefront in my life since October when I started this new oncologist. I just went in for my appointment on Friday for my tumor markers, and they are going down. So that's good news. They're still too high, but they are going down. And so I go back at the end of April and please say a prayer that they continue to go downward. If they continue to go downward, he's going to leave me be. And then I think I'll only have to go every 4 months, which is nice. That's kind of how I was. But yeah, they went down. They went down 30 points. And like I said, it's still too high. The normal tumor marker range is around in your 30s. Mine's 200. But for me, they work. I know a lot of people say, oh, don't trust tumor markers, blah, 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 blah. I've been doing this for 13 years. I'm heading into year 13. For me, tumor markers clearly work. So I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, all of you have a great day. And please remember, if you had anything in your younger years, like I said, that impacted you and caused you some little bit of distress, please share that with me, how you handled it. And, like I said, if you still talked with that person, or if it never got handled, mine never got handled, then how did you deal with it? I hope everyone has a great day. I hope the weather settled down wherever you are. And I will talk to you soon.